my slides, I lose you. So I want to make sure that you can see my slides. I'm going to stop share for a minute and just make sure that we're getting it the right way. Hold on one sec. All right. All right, if you guys lose my slides at any time, please let me know. Sometimes technology is wonderful and sometimes it can be a challenge. So let's start with, I am Shannon Dager and I work out of a couple of different regions. I am a super big fan of technology. I was one of the very original regional technology directors when Command first rolled out. So I'm not technology savvy by nature. My husband laughed when I got offered the job of regional technology director. And I say that because my husband is an IT man. And if something goes slow for me or is challenging, I tend to want to throw my computer out the window. I don't like the spinning circle of death. I don't like a lot of things, but what I do like is the leverage that it provides me. And I do love that there's so much that we can do with it. I'm not scared to break it. It's pretty much something I learned real early on, that you can try a lot of different things and you're not going to break them. And so I say that to encourage you, if you've been scared to dive into ChatGPT in any way, this is not something you can break. It can only do good things for your business. And we will dive into exactly how to use it. This is a super personalized class. We're going to actually jump into ChatGPT and just start using it. So if there is something that you are working on or you would like, you've said, oh, this is something that I have heard people are doing and I don't know how to do, or something, personal to you, then I want you to think of that project, because I'm going to ask for somebody to give me some ideas as we go through. And then I'm going to do the work for you and show you how it's done. A couple of things about how I teach, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about my background, is I'm super casual. So I'll just tell you straight up. If you want to talk to me, feel free to jump in. Just say, hey, Shannon. If you raise your hand in a meeting, sometimes I don't see the hand getting raised by your wonderful computer and all the Zoom controls. Tammy's here. She's helping me as well. But feel free to put things in the chat, and also feel free to speak up, because one of the most biggest challenges with teaching virtually is the lack of participation. So I know it can be overwhelming. Just join me however you're comfortable. There's not a dumb question. I learn from you guys as we go. So with that being said, you guys all had a goal when you came here. You showed up for a reason. What is it? And this will help me a lot to tailor the class to your class. What is it that you wanted to learn from this class and about ChatGPT? Give me a couple of ideas so I can write them down and make sure that we cover that material.
This is Mike. Mine would be incorporating it into different platforms via Canva, our design. So it goes into our social calendars a lot easier, would be my section.
Well, you're going to be very happy today, because if you stick around until about the last 30 minutes of class, we're going to actually work directly on the Canva integration. It's amazing. So I will definitely show you that. So who else has got something?
The speaker needs to be turned on in the main training room. You guys, there you go. If you want to speak, got it.
You're dark too. Like, it looks like you guys are like in a cave. Do they not pay for electricity up there in Lansing?
No, we're on budget cuts.
I mean, I know we go profit first, but
Where do we go to download it?
Yeah, how do you find ChatGPT?
The software. You Google it.
How do you find it? Oh, I love the Google it. I will tell you what it is. Okay, so let's jump in and start, because that tells me where we're beginning the class. So let's jump in and start. I'm going to stop sharing this screen. Now, here's the thing. I'm working on a single monitor. And so I'm going to work off of the slides, which mean I can't see you. So if you raise your hand, I can't see you. Speak up. I can only hear you. And because I won't know what you're saying. You might say, well, work off of multiple screens. That gets confusing too, but I consult and coach a lot. So that's a lot of my role. And right now I am in a long-term consulting role in a market center as the interim team leader until the end of the year. and I have one monitor. And so, so work with me. Tell me if what I'm talking about doesn't answer your question or doesn't match up. But I want to make sure that you guys are getting what you need at all times. So I'm going to share my entire screen and trust that you guys can see it and will tell me if you can't. So you should be seeing a screen of all of you, and I'm going to jump to ChatGPT slides right here. So first of all, let's start with this QR code. When we're done today, and it may take a day or two, I use a VA, which is a virtual assistant, to do a lot of follow-up work and a lot of social media work in my world. And ChatGPT, and I'll share that background with you a little bit. ChatGPT has been a big integrator for me with my VA, who's in the Philippines. But if you will scan this QR code, and I'll give you a couple of minutes, and I'll come back to it at the end if I move on too quickly. This QR code, you'll put your email address in, and then I know to send you the slide deck. And along with the slide deck, I'm going to send you a cheat sheet for how to do the integration with Canva. And it's a step-by-step process. I can give it to you now, but I'm an agent. I know what the attention span is of most agents. If I give you the cheat sheet right now, you're going to start working through it and then have a whole lot of questions. And so I'd rather show it to you and then give it to you and have hopefully answered your questions at the time. So has everybody copied this that wants to get the resources? That's the only way I know how to send them out to you personally. Okay, I'll come back. If anybody comes in late, remind them that this is going to be there, but I will come back to this at the very end and show it to anybody who comes in late. So this is a little bit about me. I already mentioned that I was a tech director in the past. I rolled out Command, and it was the same week that all the flights shut down due to COVID. And I had moved to a new state and didn't know anybody. And so I quickly had to figure out how to adjust to that world and this virtual world. I am a KWU approved trainer as well. So I teach all over the United States. I taught at Mega Camp. I'm hoping to teach at Family Reunion. We'll see. And I teach a lot about business growth and consulting, but the main thing I teach about is leverage. So leverage through technology, leverage through building a team, anything and everything that can build your life. I host a podcast with Linda McKissick, and it's called the Leverage Ladies Podcast. So if you want to know anything more about me, you'll hear it all on that. Today, we are going to gain an overview of ChatGPT. So those who don't know where to find it, I'm going to tell you where to find it. I love the Google answer because that is definitely one way, but it can also be a little confusing if you just Google it. You're going to understand the core concepts, and we're going to talk about what I really want you to get out of it is that you can use this better than other people. And by that, I mean like you can use it so that it sounds like you, so that it sounds like your message, your brand, your point of view. That's what we really want to make sure that you get. So I want you to be able to easily use the features and integrate them specifically with Canva, because you can blow up your social media with ChatGPT and in a very short period of time. There are so many uses between Canva and ChatGPT. And then I am going to talk to you. There are some risks with using any technology, and specifically ChatGPT. I'm married to one of the largest, well, I will brag for 1 second. My husband won the award last week for the #1 chief information security officer in the entire world. So he knows a lot about security. He works for one of the largest companies in the world. And he was just absolutely alarmed when he heard I was teaching ChatGPT. And so I have to speak to you about security. And I will tell you that his team was also, when I first started teaching this class, was having a seminar for their employees on ChatGPT and the security risks. Now he has 40,000 employees. And so he said to me, thinking, here I am, little Shannon at KW teaching ChatGPT. He said, hey, I'll have my guy send you his slides at the end so that you can use them and teach them in your classes. So I said, okay, that's good. You know, I wasn't really thinking much, but I thought, okay, that'd be cool. And he sent me the slides, and the funniest thing happened. And that was the slides that he sent me were almost identical to the slides that I had made, like word for word. Does anybody have a guess as to why?
You use
You use
ChatGPT.
We both used ChatGPT to write the course. And so he was a little more impressed with me at that point. And so, but there are some significant security risks. If you're aware of them, doesn't scare me. If you're not aware of them, it does scare me. So we'll talk through that. So what is ChatGPT? I'm sure you've all heard of AI. We have our own technology command that came out 5 years ago, and we were all so excited because it started talking about AI and artificial intelligence and data and how important this was in the world. And it really is quite important. And this particular version of AI is one of the prime examples as to why that data is so important. Because ChatGPT has been built off of a lot of the data that has been collected from a million different programs all over the world. So the thing that makes ChatGPT different is that it is a conversational model. And by that, I mean, if I had an assistant sitting right here next to me, I would talk to ChatGPT the same way I would talk to that assistant. So if I said, hey, go get me this information, I would say to ChatGPT, hey, go get me this information. We are going to have a conversation. We're not going to give it orders. We're going to have a conversation. And through it is a model that has been built off of learning as you converse with it. It gets better and better and better through those conversations. So it has predictive reasoning because of the conversations it has. So it can kind of take your information and it can predict what you're looking for. It is a completely different way of communicating. It is easy. It is for the everyday person, the person who's scared of technology. This is it. I'm telling you, this is your key to getting answers, to getting papers written, to getting newsletters written, and getting them done in a way that we all, as real estate agents, relate to. I mentioned that I have a VA, and so I'm not any longer, but I used to be a franchise owner for cyberbackers. Long story why I'm not is that I do a lot of things in the market center. I'm an interim team leader. I'm a coach. I'm a consultant. I just didn't have enough time to do it all. And it wasn't my one thing. So, but I will tell you that one of the number one conversations when clients would come to me about having a VA is they would say like their language just doesn't sound the same as my language. And what's put on social media needs to sound like me. I don't want my people thinking they're talking to somebody else. Well, when I integrated ChatGPT with my VAs, it completely changed the game. Now, my social media sounds exactly like me, and I'm going to teach you how, and then you will teach them how. Most of them already have begun integrating it and will know. But if they haven't, then you have the tools to help somebody along. So that doesn't have to be a VA. That can be an office VA, an office assistant you can have. It can be a million other resources, but I'm going to teach you how to make it more conversational. Does anybody have questions up to now about anything I've said? And it's okay at this point. We haven't gotten to where there's just a ton, but I just want to make sure. Okay. So there's a few basic concepts to getting results that I want to share with you before we move on. These aren't required, and they will change the game when getting your results. So you need to know your point of view and your goal for results. I've been in this business and I'm an agent in Ohio, I'm an agent in Atlanta, and I'm currently finishing my class in Kentucky. A lot of reasons why I have 3 different state licenses, but mainly my husband gets relocated and I believe in getting licensed anywhere to buy my own house. So one of the things that I have found being a team leader and a coach is that a lot of agents know when you talk to them about why they're good, but they don't demonstrate that when they're talking to potential clients. For instance, I'm great on YouTube video. I am gathering followers, getting leads on YouTube video. Why does that matter to a potential client? Well, it does matter because you are giving them more exposure. You're giving them unique exposure. If it's a young up and coming person who's focused on technology, that is their point of view. If you are a first time home buyer agent, that is your point of view. What do you do that's different as a first time home buyer agent? That will change your results and what you're looking for in ChatGPT. If you're a luxury agent, exact same thing. What are the things that you do that are different as a luxury agent than that first time home buyer agent? And what is the things that you do exceptionally? I used to say, and I have been a practicing agent. I was a mega agent at one point before I went into leadership. And I'll tell you, my point of view was, listen, like, I don't know everything, but I'll tell you when I don't know everything, and I'll work my ass off and do more for you than any other agent will ever do. And that's why you need to use me. And that was my point of view. And so the hard work ethic, the being there, I could make a list of all the different things that I did, from walking somebody's dog to turning on the lights at every showing, right? What is your point of view? And you need to know these things, because if you know them, as we start to use ChatGPT, you integrate those things into getting your results, and it learns more about you as well. So if you don't know that right now, that's okay. You can still start using it, but start to explore it. There's some really good classes that I want to say you should really explore, because this is a game changer in your sales business. You need to be very specific in what you ask for when you're talking to it. You can be so specific. You can say, I would like a paragraph that is 500 characters or less. I would like for this to be in bullet points. I would like for this to be in a funny tone. I would like for this to be in a professional tone. So we need to learn, and I'm going to teach you those parameters of things, of what the specifics are to ask. And when you don't get what you want, you re-ask it. So if my assistant came in and was sitting next to me and I said, hey, go write me a property description for 123 Main Street. And they came in and they gave me the property description, and it said, it's a great 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on Main Street, large bedrooms. And it was a luxury home. I would tell them, hey, listen, I would spend the time with them and I would say, that's great, but this house is $2 million. Let me tell you some things that we need to integrate into that property description that make it sound like a $2 million house. Marble counters, hardwood floors, right? And I would say, use bigger words, probably something that's 2 to 3 syllables, different conversations. This is the same thing you're going to say to ChatGPT. I would say to my assistant, hey, can you rewrite that, but make it sound a little more luxury? Say to ChatGPT, hey, can you rewrite that, but make it sound a little more luxury? You'll be amazed at what you get back. So be really specific in what you ask for, how many words, bullet points you want, the length and type of response, the type of output. You can do CSV files, you can do a table, you can do articles, books, presentations. If you want to have like an ebook on that you put out, and so this is great for funnel prospecting. If you run an ad on Facebook and your ad says, register here for an ebook on first-time home buying, you can have ChatGPT write that book for you in about 2 minutes. It'll write you a book. And people will register and you get those leads. If you want to know about specific loan types and have an ebook for that, hey, write me a book on, USDA loans. It'll write you a book on USDA loans. So know what you're asking for, and there's not a limit in it. Ask for just about anything you want. If you're nervous about video, and agents are often scared to do video, if you don't know what to say, ask ChatGPT to give you a list of things to say and to write the script for it. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's pretty amazing. You need to always tell it who you are and who is getting the result. So I, as a team leader, I am a recruiter. And so I am writing things all the time to outside agents. So I often say, I am Shannon Dager, the team leader for Keller Williams Advisors, a brokerage in Cincinnati. I am writing this for agents that are not Keller Williams agents, but are agents in Cincinnati. So tell it who you're writing it for, and it'll change the game too. Have a consistent style or language. And that's something that we can play with, and I can show you how to change your style or language. Ultimately, you can tell it whatever style you want it to write in, and it'll change that for you. You can upload your, if you don't know what your style is and you're thinking, I don't know how to tell it what style, take an old email that you've written to somebody, and I'd make it 2 or 3 paragraph email. Just go through your old stuff that you've written and copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, analyze this message for me. And then you'll be surprised at the analysis that comes through, and you can actually tell it to learn to write like you. So that's how it sounds, just like you. You can use other people's styles and personas as well. So any famous person, if you say write it in the style of Cary Grant, it can write it in the style of Cary Grant or Ronald Reagan or Donald Trump, or I don't know. I'm just thinking of famous people, not party lines. And then continue to actually ask it to revise the results you get and what you want. One of the key things when you're first learning how to use it is that when you ask it to do something, ask it to also give you questions back so that it can get context. And by that, I mean, say, hey, write a property description for 123 Main Street that has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's a luxury home. And then say, if you want to know more, please ask me questions. And it will actually come back and say, can you tell me more about this? It actually is learning from you and it will interact with you. So give it permission to ask those questions. Things you can do with it. And I promise we're going to dive into it in just a minute. That is the majority of the class. So hang tight. But as I'm going to ask you when we get into ChatGPT, I'm going to ask you to give me some examples of things you would like. So here's some examples of things it can do. And there's really no limits. It can do a million things beyond this, but it can write property descriptions, video scripts, newsletters, articles, YouTubes. It can write your hooks. It can teach you things. So if you want to learn Spanish, it can teach you that. It can be your script role play partner for real estate conversations. So if you don't want to script partner with somebody else, you can script partner with ChatGPT. It'll literally go back and forth with you. It'll teach you how to do all kinds of things. It can solve any problems you have. You can use it for bulk planning, which is what we're going to do with Canva, and it can translate languages. So think about that. If you have written your own listing presentation and you copy and paste it into ChatGPT, you can have a listing presentation done for you in any language on earth. We'll come back to this in a minute. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second, and I want to give you guys the floor. I just laid out a lot. Next, we're going to jump into ChatGPT. I'm going to tell you how to get there. What questions do you guys have up until now about anything I've said?
None in the dark room.
None in the dark room. We're all in the dark.
You said it can translate any language, but I don't really. Okay, how does it translate? It can't translate into American Sign Language then, though, right?
I don't know, but we can find out.
Okay.
I've never had that asked before, but that's a good one to find out. Here's the thing. If you ask it, if you want to know if it can do something, the magic question is ask it if it can do it. And it will tell you when it can't do it. But not only does it tell you when it can't do it, it also tells you resources that might be able to do it.
Okay.
Okay. That's a great question, though. I love those
Thank
questions.
you.
I honestly don't know. So, okay. So I'm gonna do exactly what somebody told me how to do. So there is a website for ChatGPT, and I'm the same as the person who said, Google it. I'm that girl. I Google it every time and I use it every day, all day long. And I still Google it just because it's kind of a long thing. So you can see it comes right up for me because I use it all the time. And the website is chat.openai.com. Now, if I just Google ChatGPT, there are going to be some other examples that come up. There's going to be, because there's a lot of fakers right now. There's a lot of things that are faking as ChatGPT. And so the one that is ChatGPT, and that doesn't mean the other ones don't have validity, and we can talk through what they are. But the one that I prefer, and the one that I prefer to work off of is chat.openai.com. This is the original, in my opinion, most advanced version. So Does anybody have questions on other versions? Because sometimes people have heard of other versions, want to know about the other versions.
Do you use your phone on an app, or do you use it on your computer?
99% of the time I use it on my computer, but you can use it on your phone. There are limitations in the app that we don't have in the web version. And so even when I do it on my phone, I go to the web version.
So
But
on an app though, are there other multiple apps that you can choose from to download, or is there one that you prefer?
I would just go with the chat OpenAI GPT app. That's the only app I would use.
Okay.
So they're all good. They all just process very differently. Some of them have a higher error rate, and some of them don't have the logical thought process. So in my opinion, ChatGPT, and there's research to prove this, is the furthest along. It also contains the largest, and they call it parameters, that are the logical thought process to it. So something to know about ChatGPT 3.5, you'll see there's two versions. The first time you pull it up, you'll have to register. I only use the free version. I've used both, and I'll talk to you about why. 3.5 is free. If you want to go down and do the paid version down here on my left, that says Renew Plus, that costs some money. It's like $9.95 per month, I believe, right now. I have tried both. As an agent, I don't find that my complexity of questions and my need for the upgraded version has ever come into play. There's a couple of differences in the new version and the old version. 3.5 has information that was uploaded up until 2021. So ChatGPT does not go out and search the internet for your answer. It is not Alexa. It is not gonna do that. It has the information it has, and the only thing else that it has is the information you put in it, you and the billion other people that are using it. It loaded all that information up to 2021, and then the logic has started to grow it to where it is. ChatGPT 4 is through 2022. So it's a little more updated in terms of its upload information. I don't use it for things like programming code. If you are looking to program some code, which I can only barely tell you what that even is. If you're a website developer or designer, ChatGPT 4 is probably for you. If you're the normal real estate agent, ChatGPT 3.5 that's free is 100% sufficient. Never had anybody need anything more. I used 4 for a while just because I teach the class, and I thought, well, I should try it and let you know. If they say it's faster, you're going to see how fast 3.5 works. Never had to wait on it. It's literally seconds to get your results. So once you log in, it'll give you a couple of serious questions like pop-ups. Just
protected health information described below, which we're not going to do.
Thank you. So just scroll through the pop-ups and come to this page. This is your main page. Okay, the pop-ups are just kind of teaching you a little bit, but they don't really teach you that much. It looks a little bit like these things right here. They're giving you suggestions. The main thing when I say talk to ChatGPT, I don't know if you can see this little thing here. I'm going to move it over so we can have a better screen. I'm talking about talking to it right here at the bottom where it says send a message. That's how we talk to it. And I'm going to enter the words just as if I'm talking. Now, if I use my app, it does have an ability to just talk into it. Maybe that's something you like better. It's got some other limitations. I'm just not a big fan of the app. But I'm one of those people who I get used to one thing and I just kind of get stuck on it. So probably I'd get adjusted to that eventually. On the left-hand side, you have a history that lasts for 30 days of anything that you've done in the past 30 days. You can see how many things I do. Like I use this every day, all day long, pretty much for all kinds of things. Sometimes it's classes, sometimes it's demonstrations, but a lot of times it's just my own stuff. It's just things that I need to do. I use it every day, all day long. So, but when we talk to it straight through here. So, as I'm going to go through right now and I'm going to do a demo, I want to ask, is there anybody who came and said, I want to learn to do this because I want to try it in my business? Give me an idea and let's start working through it. And then I'll copy it and send it to you.
I have something. So we recently had our tech trainer talk to us about being able to make like a whole month's worth of social media posts about some certain topic.
Yeah.
And using ChatGPT to get those all at the same time, and then we just like schedule them out separately.
Yeah, we can do it. So if we say like about a certain topic, what topic would you like it to be about? Real estate?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
You know,
So-
I don't know, like he did something, you know, like 10 tips for first time home buyers, or, you know.
Sure. So if I wanted to say, now let's just say we don't work on a, monthly thing. I am a big believer in bulk processing. So if I wanted to do it, I would say, now I want you to understand you can do 365 days worth of this, but it will take a couple of minutes for it to process. So I'm going to keep it small and I'm going to say 20 for anything I do. So I'm going to say just the same thing, but you can always change that 20 to 365. It literally, you're going to see how quickly it works. So if I say, give me 10, I said 20 topics to share about on social media. And I'm just saying this is as if I was like talking to my assistant. Give me 20 topics to share about on social media that are relevant to first-time home buyers. And remember, I want it to know who I am. So I'm going to say I am an agent in Lansing, Michigan. And I am talking to potential clients. I'm just going to hit there. Okay, so there's your 20 topics coming in up. Now imagine I did 365. You see how quick it's you're going to be sitting here for a couple of minutes. It's going to give you that right there. Okay, so those are your topics, but let's just expand on this a little bit further because this is just, let's say 14, provide practical advice on planning. Okay, well, that's not exactly like shaking the world, but it's great. Like you can definitely gives me some ideas to start with. But what if I said, rewrite each of the above as a social media headline and a call to action to persuade the potential client to reach out to me as their agent of choice and make it fun and include emojis.
I love an emoji.
So how does that work for you?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? What if I said, put the above into a table with the headline in column A and the call to action in column B? Now, I did that for a reason. We're going to come back to that when we go to our Canva integration, and we're going to use it.
Can you approve sitting in the waiting room? I think I'm sitting in there on my phone.
We can see about that. Tammy, can you approve him? Or are we leaving him in the dark too with the whole workroom? You guys need to pay your market center bills. They might give you some lights.
Oh, they pay them. They're really good about that.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. I'm sure you all pay your bills. I'm just giving y'all a little bit of a hard time.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I noticed in one of the previous slides, the spelling of the word analyze
Yep.
had an S.
It's probably just me.
So
yep, right here.
And that is correct in I know in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
My question is that how it was written in the prompt when the document was created, or I'm just curious why it would spell certain words a certain way.
Well, I don't know. I wrote this so long ago, I could have retyped that and made the typo myself. I'm not going to blame that on ChatGPT.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that would be a ChatGPT. So it doesn't make the slides for you. It provides the content for you. So for instance, if I wanted to say, let's just say a first-time home buyer class for me that takes approximately 30 minutes. I am a real estate agent and I am trying to attract new clients. I just see there. I could put in a whole lot of other stuff, like, right? I could tell it, include these topics, right? I could say include this potential lender if you had a lender partner. I'm just going to go with that. Let's see what it comes up with. That's not too bad. It's not really too bad. If I wanted to say, it's even got the timing in here. If I wanted to say, give me some icebreaker activities, I could say, expand on the icebreaker activities and give me some examples, and it would build that in. So like I would just say, rewrite the above and give me examples of an icebreaker activity to use. So what you can see here is stop generating too. So if anything you ask is just taking too long, you can always just stop when you realize, because sometimes one of the things I've learned is as I go through this, I'm like, oh, I probably should have said that better. Let me just stop and redo. So, but here's the icebreaker activity it gave me, right? And so if I wanted to say, provide me more details on the overview of the home buying process, give me 7 important steps, it would do that too. Like you can just say rewrite and give me 7 important steps to the overview of the home buying process. So when I say it wrote a class for me, this is what it does. It breaks it out into sections and then you make the slides that go along with it. So could I have mistyped that? Very possibly. I mean, it's very possible I mistyped that. Probably more likely that I mistyped it than that ChatGPT mistyped it, to be very honest. Now, if I wanted to say, rewrite the above in Spanish, I can now do it in Spanish. And what does that matter? Like our documents are, I mean, how many of us are missing out on potential business or the ability to even give referrals to a Spanish speaking agent because we're not bilingual? You can start the process. You can still get the leads and hand off the referrals, even if you're not bilingual. So there's so many things you can do. Because I know in my market center, in my market, we only have 2 Spanish speaking individuals that are like fluently Spanish and have done all of their documents in Spanish. And so I just hand them all the leads. Well, why am I not going through this process? And then probably I'd still hand them the leads, right? Because they'd want fluency in showing homes. but I certainly can hand a better referral if I have that and build that business. Maybe it's not Spanish, maybe it's something else. But the language piece is very, very straightforward. What other questions? Let's do some property descriptions and show you guys the differences there. So
Can
if
I
I
just
was,
ask a question?
yeah,
When you prepare something like this is what you do with this is you take it, copy it, or and put it into maybe Word, and then add to it and subtract to it and make it your own.
100% you can. You can take this button right here. This is the copy button, and you just copy it and you paste it wherever you want to paste it. Just copy and paste it.
You could paste it on Facebook. You could paste it anywhere you have you right.
Yep, you can copy and paste it anywhere you want.
Thank you.
Yep. So let's see what I have done. Like if you go over here to my previous conversations, I can look up different things. So I do a lot of referrals because I have my license in multiple states. So last night I was doing a smart plan to agents in Columbus, Ohio, and Louisville. And so this is what I used it for last night. I wrote myself a smart plan. And I just said, write an introductory letter from me, a Cincinnati real estate agent, to agents in another market. And I just told it what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to offer, and here's my name in it. And it did it right here. And so then I said, write a short bio about me. Okay. And I told it a little bit about myself, and it wrote the bio. So I have that. And then I said, rewrite it and make it shorter because my bio was too long for the smart plan. And then I said, okay, now that I got it where I want, I said, rewrite me 6 more versions because I didn't want them all to be the same and I want a smart plan. So literally in 15 minutes of doing that, I have 6 smart plans that will go out every 30 days. So then when I went to do the smart plans, right, when we send an email, we always have a subject line. And so I said, write captivating subject lines for each of the above. And it wrote my smart plans for me. So all I had to do was copy and paste that right into Command Smart Plans and put a delay in between each one of 30 days and started it today. And now 2,400 agents are getting send me a referral email. And that took me probably about 30 minutes. So you can use this for so many different things. Now, one thing that I will say is a little bit kind of just a good best practice. Whenever you leave and you come in, it's going to give you that fresh like chat message. So it's not going to have all this up from last time because it saved all your conversations over here. But if you left this up today and you wanted to come back in an hour or two and work on it and you just ask it a new question, it's going to pile all your things on top of each other. And what I have found as a limitation is sometimes I've done a couple of things in one day and not closed out. And then when I go back a month later, I can't find it because it's in a long string and it's not necessarily over here as clearly identifiable. So for instance, I was doing work one day. I have a son who got married last month. My daughter had to make a toast to him at the wedding and she was struggling with it. And I said, hey, use ChatGPT. It can write a toast for you. And she didn't know how to use it. So we had a lot of fun. We were telling ChatGPT funny stories about my son to make fun of him. And it wrote this amazingly gorgeous toast. And then but it was buried inside my real estate work and we never could go back and find it. And so the solution for that is if I came in today and I see that I have my newsletters up, I can come right up here and just hit new chat and it's going to start all fresh again. And then it'll log it here on the side. So let me talk about a couple of things that I think are super common for agents to want to do. One of them is property descriptions are super popular. You know, property descriptions are something that most of us can do fairly easily, but some property descriptions are far better than others. So who's got a new listing that's coming up that either has a special circumstance, is a really nice listing, and wants to write a property description for it? It can be a weird property. It can be a beautiful property. It doesn't matter. Anybody have any special properties coming up for listing? No? Do we need to talk about how to get listings?
I actually have one
Okay.
that'll be coming available next week. It's a
Okay.
3-bedroom, 1-bathroom in Jackson, Michigan.
Okay.
And it's near Henry Ford Hospital, but it needs a lot of love. So it does have a ton of potential, but it needs work.
Okay, so I'm putting on here pretty much what you said. Write a property description for a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home that is coming up soon to the real estate market.
It does have a
home-
bathroom in the basement, shower in the basement as well.
Yes.
I don't know how many of you can read this in the classroom, so I'll read it out loud in just a second so you see what I'm putting, because sometimes it's really small. What is the hospital that it's nearby?
Henry Ford.
Anything else you want to know, you want me to say about the property? Anything about the yard, the kitchen, nothing? We don't want to mention those things because they need rehab. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yep.
Now, how long are your property descriptions allowed to be in terms of characters? Do you know?
825, I
Okay.
think.
That's small. We'll see what it comes up with. So I wrote, write a property description for a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home that is coming up soon to the real estate market. The home needs a lot of love, but has potential. It includes a basement bathroom, and it's located near Henry Ford Hospital. Keep to a limit of 825 characters. And so it says charming 3-bedroom, 1-bath home with great potential, hitting the market soon, nestled near Henry Ford Hospital. This property offers convenience and potential. Embrace the opportunity to transform this diamond in the rough into your dream home. The basement includes a bathroom, adding functionality. With some TLC, this home can shine. Don't miss the chance to make this well-located property yours. Explore the possibilities and envision the future of this hidden gem. Schedule a showing and unlock the potential within.
Oh, wow.
That's better than I would write.
Same.
That's better than I would write, right? Now you can change that. So let's say rewrite this description as if it was a luxury property and has luxury amenities. I have no idea what this is going to come up with. Okay, so now introducing an exquisite 3-bedroom, 1-bath haven, soon gracing the market with opulence. Elegantly situated near Henry Ford Hospital, this residence promises refined living. Luxuriate in the transformative allure of this dwelling, boasting a lavish basement bathroom for utmost comfort. Immerse yourself in the grandeur of potential as this property invites a bespoke touch of sophistication. A true canvas for discerning tastes, this home beckons to be elevated into a masterpiece. Indulge in the allure of luxury living, seize the opportunity to own a prestigious address, and unlock the full splendor of this distinguished abode. It's not bad for taking what we gave it, which was it needs work and luxury. Now, so as we talk about tone, and this is not usually something about property descriptions, but I want you to see how you can use it. I'm going to say rewrite the above in a funny voice. Step right up to the fanciest shack on the block. This 3-bedroom, 1-bath masterpiece is about to market, and boy, does it scream luxury, or maybe just whisper it. Nestled near Henry Ford Hospital, because even luxury needs proximity to healthcare, right? Now hold on to your monocles. There's a basement bathroom. Fancy, huh? With a little TLC, this place could go from meh to ooh la la. It's like a do-it-yourself spa day for your home. So put on your imaginary top hat and monocle, envision the royal treatment, and get ready to claim your throne in the lap of potential luxury. Don't miss the chance to own a piece of the posh life, or at least fake it till you make it. Do you see how the tone can totally change?
That's really awesome.
It is, right? You can have it. You can tell it to write it in a more professional tone. You can tell it to write it in a persuasive tone. You can tell it to write it as a cowboy. So rewrite as a cowboy. Howdy partners, get ready to rustle up some excitement because we got a rootin' tootin' 3-bedroom, 1-bath beauty fixing to hit the market. Nestled near Henry Ford Hospital, this here homestead's got a basement bathroom perfect for washing off the trail dust. Sure, it needs a heap of lovin', but reckon it's got more potential than a tumbleweed in a windstorm. Saddle up, wrangle up that do-it-yourself spirit, and turn this place into a real cowboy's paradise. So grab your lassos and mosey on down for a gander. Don't let this chance slip through your fingers. It's high noon for home buying.
That's amazing.
Right. So personality and knowing your point of view really changes the game when you can say, here's what I want you to write. And then you say, rewrite as, what are you? Rewrite as, what are you? Rewrite as if I'm a first-time home buyer real estate agent. Rewrite as if I am a luxury real estate agent. Rewrite as if I'm a cowboy, which I don't think there's that many in Michigan. Maybe there's one or two. There's not many here in Ohio. But you can rewrite it in just about any tone that you feel is appropriate. You can have it reference universities, football teams, sports, and you can have it tell jokes. You can have it do just about anything. So one of the other things that I mentioned that I think is really important that this can do is it can write scripts. And I say that because video is so super important and we are all so nervous about writing it. So if I was I'm going to show you how to write a script, and let's just see the demonstrations that you guys maybe will use it a little bit and feel a little more comfortable. When I do script videos, a couple of things. One, you want to be comfortable, right? But you only get more comfortable with practice. And to reduce the ums, you have to have kind of the basic points. For me, one of the things that helped me get comfortable in front of the camera was something called a teleprompter, a free teleprompter, which puts the words across the screen for me. So the way I have my setup is I have a couch that's set up in my basement, and I have a big screen TV that looks at it. And I can, on my big screen TV, I can cast from my computer, and I can cast what we call a free teleprompter. You can just Google free teleprompter. There's a million of them out there, and you're going to take this copy button and you're going to paste it into your teleprompter and hit record on your phone. It'll then start to show the words, and you put your phone just underneath that TV and you just start reading it. And all of a sudden you have like a professional news setup. Nobody will know you're reading from the teleprompter if you just have it go there. The free teleprompters are great because you can also slow down and speed up the words to your normal speaking pattern. I speak super fast. And so what I found was I did a couple of like professional recordings and I spoke really slow, and people were like, that doesn't sound like you. And so I had to learn to actually speed it up because I just naturally talk fast, and then give time for people to ask questions when I do classes. So you can adjust it to your speaking pattern, but it gives you the words. But we need the words to start with. And so ChatGPT has helped me a lot. So if I was going to say, I want to do a video, does anybody have a video that they think that they want to do? If not, I'm just going to make it up. How about sorry, somebody say something? I get excited when I hear somebody give me an idea. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna ask
How about
ChatGPT.
it's a good, why it would be a good time to buy, even though the interest rates are high?
Okay, awesome. Let's do that. So let's say write a script for a real estate video that talks about why you should buy a house now, even though interest rates are high. I am, and I'm gonna tell you who I am, a real estate agent. Seems obvious, but really it's not. And I am trying to attract potential clients. Keep my script to less than 3 minutes. Just because really with video, we usually want it pretty short. Here's your script. It literally tells you what to show in the background, where to take your camera, and how to put them all together. You don't have to do all of this. You don't have to do warm shots of a picturesque neighborhood with upbeat music playing. It probably would be great, but you can just sit in front of it. Now, listen, it's still talking as if I'm a cowboy. So I'm going to say rewrite not in the tone of a cowboy, but in a friendly and convincing tone. Okay, so hey there, future homeowners. It's Shannon Dager, your go-to real estate enthusiast, and I am here to chat about something important, buying a home. Even in this season of slightly higher interest rates, stick with me and let's explore why now might be your golden opportunity. I know, interest rates are making headlines, but let's focus on the positives. Investing in a home isn't just about the property, it's about investing in your future. Real estate has a knack for appreciating over time, and homeownership is like planting seeds for long-term financial growth. Yes, interest rates have nudged up a bit, but securing a mortgage now, even with a slightly higher rate, could be a wise move. Think of it like locking in financial stability, protection from potential future rate hikes, and the comfort of consistent monthly payments. Now, is that a script you guys could read? Is it just me?
That was awesome.
Look, I didn't transition. I didn't cut to a whiteboard. I didn't do any of that stuff. You don't have to. Can you do that? Yeah, sure. But should we all be using video? This is super, super, super easy. Let's keep going. I mean, I could say shorten this if I don't want to go for 3 minutes. It's going to shorten it for me. I could say extend it, make it longer. What I could also say is, this is great. Rewrite me 5 more scripts.
I'm gonna use it more after this class.
What's that?
Oh, someone asked me if I use it a lot, and I said I'm gonna use it more after this class.
Good. Rewrite me 5 more scripts so that I can make more videos, but with different points and knowledge. Now you can sit down and you can mass produce your scripts. So I have now 6 scripts that I could sit down in one room and I could record all of these. And then I go put it on Hootsuite or some other social media scheduler to just show up when I wanted it to show up. Or I could have a VA or an assistant do that for me.
Can I ask a question? So are you just recording this on your cell phone?
Right now, or you mean when I do a video?
No. When you do a video, do you just do it?
Yeah, so I just use my cell phone. Yeah, I just use my cell phone. You could do whatever.
So you'll have 6 different videos on your cell phone, and then you could just take those videos and email them or post them or.
Yeah,
Something
I
like,
just email straight from my phone and I'll send myself an email until, and then I just save it to my computer and then I go to Hootsuite and I just upload it.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How-
I mean, you could get more fancy. Plenty of people do with the green screen and they can do all of these kind of things. Do I think it's cool? I think it is super cool when you see it. I mean, if you see Ken Pozek doing that or Brad Cree doing that, like you're going to see some great examples of super technology. My friends and family relate to me. They don't, I mean, they would think that's pretty cool, but it would not change whether they watched it or not. Honestly, it might change whether they watched it or not, because if they just feel like I'm talking to them, my friends and family, because of who I am, that's probably what they would rather have is me just talking to them. Because like I said, I'm super casual. So I'm not trying to be anything else. But yeah, I just use my phone. And I mean, like that one, I just read straight from the screen while I'm talking to you. I didn't even use teleprompter because it's just right there. It's super easy. But if it's something that I need a teleprompter for, I can just use a TV and just cut and paste it, put it on the teleprompter and have it run down and do it that way. Sometimes a teleprompter helps you not talk so fast. But again, like I've practiced it a few times, so it's not that hard, but I haven't practiced it a million times. I've only practiced it a few times. So I don't do this like demo in every class I teach either. So like, don't think like, oh, she teaches this class, that's why she can do it. No, I think I've done this script demo one time. So you guys can do this too. What I think is that you do it because it's important that you do it. So, it'll give you the information. Now I could also say like rewrite script 5 and insert a joke. And it'll do that for me too. So we'd have to come to this picture that us negotiating is a bit like herding cattle. It requires more finesse, a keen eye, and the occasional well-timed joke. Seriously, who knew? Humor could be a secret sauce to stealing the deal. I guess even real estate can use a good laugh. So why did the real estate agent bring a ladder to the showing? Because they heard the property had high ceilings. I mean, it's a bad joke, but it's a joke. You can ask it to put quotes in there. You can ask it to put market statistics in there. The thing that I do want to say before you do that, though, is I want you to remember what I said. The information in here was put in here in 2021. So if you ask it for market statistics, you need to ignore the statistics it gives you. So what I would say is rewrite script 5 and insert a quote from a well-known business leader and add in to market statistics. Now, when it does that, it's going to come up and it's going to do it. It's going to give me my quote. It's going to give me my market statistics, which I think gives you a little bit, of cred in the market. So it says the median home price in our area has increased by 10% last year. That's a fake statistic. That's a fake statistic because it's only been uploaded since 2021. But your MLS and what your inventory has increased by, or you can easily figure it out. So if you see statistics in there, be wary of that and put your own statistics in there. If you see a quote and it's not from somebody who's a super well-known speaker, then verify it. This one's like Warren Buffett. And that's why I said a well-known, because sometimes if you just say a quote, so ChatGPT is smart. It'll make you a quote. It knows what a quote is, and it's got a million different pieces of information. It'll just take information, it'll make its own quote up. So it won't. So if you want it to be from somebody said it, ask it for something that's real, because otherwise it can just say what it wants to say. It's very smart. The other thing I want you guys to know is that when it does something right or it does something wrong, the only way that it knows it did something right or it did something wrong is if we tell it. So if it does something wrong, you need to do an up or down thumb, because that's kind of like how we're improving on it for all of society moving forward. If we want this technology to be good and to be useful to us, we have to tell it if it did something right or something wrong. So like that was good, and I can tell it here. I'm more concerned about the bad information than I am concerned about the good information. It'll just keep, if you don't tell it it's bad, it's just going to keep reusing it and assume it's good. But if it's bad, you need to say that's bad information and here's why. And there's a whole team of people there that go in and re-alter it to get the information correct. So last thing, I'm going to show you guys that you can do a newsletter in here. So if I wanted to write a custom newsletter, me, a realtor in Lansing, Michigan, to potential clients. Make it 2 pages. Just let's do front and back. You can make it as long as you want. Make it 2 pages and include a section on my bio. Let's see, what else do we want? A recipe. We always love a good recipe in a newsletter for some reason. A recipe, local events that are coming up. Let's see, interest rates and buying a home. Don't know what this will come up with, but we'll just give it a go. We can always alter it. There's your newsletter. Now, how can I make this more interesting? So it talks about interest rates. And look, it gives you a blank so that you can put your current interest rates in. I could ask it to expand on that. I could ask it to include my lender's information. I could ask it to put in market statistics and quotes in here. I could say rewrite and include a quote from a well-known person in Lansing, Michigan about buying a home. I could include all kinds of things. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. I didn't give it any information about me. So if I wanted to go back and like put my bio in there, I could do that. I could just say like rewrite and use my information in my bio. I am a realtor for 10 plus years. I have experience in luxury home sales. I am a top negotiator. I offer staging and top customer service to all my homes. That's it. You could be really specific about anything that you want to put in there that was just kind of off the top of my head. Let's look at my bio. So I am blank, your seasoned realtor with over a decade of experience in Lansing, specializing in luxury home sales. I bring a wealth of knowledge. I could just say rewrite and enlarge the bio section. If I wanted it to be bigger, just keep working it until you get what you want. And it's just going to keep adding more and more detail. So give it the details. So it goes on to talk about my luxury home sales now and my negotiating skills now and my staging experience. So cut and paste it into any format you want and send it out, or just keep it as like an email. There's nothing that says it, just remove the page numbers. You can do this. You can connect these as well to Canva. You saw me earlier tell it what sections to put in what columns. So it's I'm going to show you how. But you would easily say, put each headline in column A, put the description in column B, put anything in column C, whatever it is you wanted. And I'm going to show you how to do that when we go into Canva and get that bulk creation. But before we do that, does anybody have any questions on this?
Can ChatGPT make a picture?
So ChatGPT itself cannot make a picture, but there is a program that works with ChatGPT. There's a lot of programs, but like I said, I'm a fan of ChatGPT. No interest in it. I've just tried them all. It's called Mid Journey. It's MID Journey, just JOURNEY, Mid Journey, and you can use it for free for like, I don't know, 20 or 50 times. It's very, very cool. It's a little confusing to use. And I'm happy to show you guys, like in a separate video, how to use it if you want to. And it can do pictures in there, and it is really, really cool what it can do. You can just say, like, draw me a real estate agent outside of a white and black house in a watercolor format. And you can say wearing red shirt, black pants, and it'll draw it for you. It's phenomenal. So I've used it for a lot of my newsletters when I say, like, St. Patrick's Day, I said, draw me a leprechaun that's a real estate agent in front of a house that's sold with my logo on it, and it did it. So it can do some kind of cool things. And you can say, like, do it black and white. You can say do it in a watercolor style, an oil painting style, whatever style you want to do. So, and it's a ChatGPT extension, but it's not actually in here.
Thank you.
So at this point with this newsletter that you just created, once you get where you want it to be, you you get the copy button, and then you were going to email it, then you would go to your email and then just paste it.
Yeah, just copy and paste it. That's it. Yeah. So I did a smart plan for it. I mean, I just went in and I'll show you my smart plan that I did for my yesterday. I'll hope I can remember my password. I told you I'm a little challenged. Oh, what is that? What is it? Agent. Oh, is that my agent? There we go. All right. So I did a smart plan yesterday, the one I showed you, and this is, it's this one right here, 151 days of a smart plan. And I copied and pasted it. And it just looks like this. Like, I copied those subject lines there, and then I cut and paste it here. And then I put in a little set delay 30 days, and then they get this one the next time. And then they get set delay 31 days, 30 days, cut and paste, and I just send it out. Yeah. And so you could easily do the same thing. You can do, there's, you saw me create one newsletter. There's nothing saying create 12 newsletters for me now. It'll create them all. So you can, if it takes 10 seconds for one newsletter, it'll take you 10 minutes for 12 newsletters. And you can say, make this newsletter about the season, like make it seasonal, and it'll do that as well. So I could say, write a newsletter for every month of the year, and it would make it more seasonal. So it's like, what do you want? Get very specific in what you ask. I just asked for a newsletter, but if I said, rewrite this as a winter newsletter, how would that change it? We'll see. I'm at the bottom of it. I'm trying to see. I wrote so many of them. I'm trying to see. I'm still writing the enlarged bio. Let's see. There we go. Winter warmth. So now this is our winter one. Winter warmth and your realtor's tale. So I trust this winter themed newsletter finds you snug and warm. So yeah, you can go into it and ask it whatever you want it to be. You can see it even down here. Let's transform your home into a snowy sanctuary. It changed everything. It changed my recipe to Lansing snowflake cookies. Upcoming local events. Now listen, it has upcoming local winter events. Lansing Winter Wonderland Festival. These may be real events that you guys have year over year. I have done this newsletter before for other markets, and it'll put the date and location in. The problem is it's 2021's date and location. So again, dates, stats, quotes, I recommend you double check.
So question though, if you did go ahead, if you really dove into this and paid for it, would then he have the actual dates and locations and the actual interest rates and would they be more accurate?
No, because that's only 2022. It doesn't pull from the internet. None of it pulls from the internet. It's a learning based platform. It is learning within itself. So it is not like going to the internet to see what you did. So it knows what it knows. Would it be slightly more accurate? Maybe slightly, but it's still going to be off because last year's date is not this year's date. So no. Do I think it'll get there? Probably, but
Okay.
it's not there yet.
So the other question. So let's say those were events here, and I'm sending out this newsletter. So now I say, okay, so the date is January 20th, you know, at Central Park. So do I then change it here in in this chat thing, or do I have to copy it, paste it, and then go into my email and then correct it?
However you want, really. I mean, you could come in here and you could say, change Lansing Winter Wonderland festival to this date, and it would change it.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, you could do it there and then copy and paste it, or you could just copy and paste it to your email and change it right in there. Totally up to you. Either way works.
Will the printing still be the same though? It
I don't know.
probably it's
Depends on
probably
your email. Yeah. Yeah, it depends on your email. You could have some font changes. It's possible. Yeah. Anybody else have questions before we go into Canva? Do you guys like it?
Yes. It's amazing.
Good.
Mind blowing.
It is mind blowing. Yeah.
It is mind blowing. And a lot of people are scared by it. Like a lot of people are like, oh, where's this going? And you know, who knows where it's going? There's going to be a lot of regulation around it. So, but what I would say is stay ahead of it, stay on top of it so you know how to use it to your advantage. It doesn't have the anticipation that we have and the knowledge that we have. So it's, you know, the database is limited. It is scary. There are great things coming from it, and scary things coming from it. But as long as you stay informed on it, we're going to be okay. And we'll use it as a strategy versus, you know, having it outpace us. If you haven't got an account and you're not ready to start using it today, I want to encourage you to go ahead and sign up for an account. The reason is there's been times in the past where there have been lags and they're allowing new accounts to come in. And so like there's been several month delays. I don't expect that in the near future, but if they come out with some great new feature, and they will, there's about 1 billion people who have signed up for accounts right now, but there's a lot more people than that in the world. And I would not want you to want to use it or learn about it and not be able to get an account. So I would go ahead and sign up for the account and then use it at your disposal versus waiting. If it says that your account's in hold, don't worry. Right now it's pretty quick for your account to get approved. It may be instantaneous. I don't know. But in the past, it has taken a week or two, maybe even a month for people's accounts to get approved. That's just because it has blown up from in less than a year to 1 billion users. So it's better to just go ahead and snag your position as an account holder, and then go from there. At some point in the future, they may have a subscription rate like everybody else has decided to do. We don't know. And so we'll just have to wait and see on that for sure. All right. So
I
let me
signed
go
up,
back.
Shannon. I signed up and mine went right away. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know if everybody's
expect
slow,
it
but
to
mine
be
went right away.
Yeah, I haven't seen any delays in a while. It seems like it's been pretty instantaneous. See where I'm looking for that chart, and remember we started a new page. That's why you have to have your new charts. So I made you a chart back here. Here we go. So we started on this. This was our social media topics, and I put them in column A and column B. And so I can copy this. And then what I can do is come in here. And now I'm going to say this. They change this process all the time. This process being the integration with Canva. It always works, but have patience with yourself because sometimes it does take time to figure out exactly how to use it. And you can see right there when I did it, it doesn't break it out into the simple columns. All I did was copy and paste. So then you just have to figure out how to work around it. It's not a big deal, but every time I come in to do this copy paste to Canva, it takes me a minute. Once you figure it out, it's going to be super, super easy. So what I'm going to do here is what I did was these are headlines and call to action. And I think I said for first time home buyers, is that what I said? Oh, okay. So I'm going to say, right here. I'm just gonna copy it. I'm gonna copy it here and put it back here. Let's say Control V, right? Social media headlines. Headlines, and I'm gonna just do one at a time to persuade the potential client to reach out to me as their, and I'm gonna redo this, real estate agent of choice and make it fun. So I'm going to just say, write me real estate headlines. Instead of trying to do 2 columns, which you can do, I'm just going to do 1. And then I'll do the second one in another column. It's just easier for me to copy and paste. That's just something I've learned. All right, so there we go. I don't love it when it numbers it. So rewrite in an unnumbered format. Okay. So now I've got my headlines. So I'm going to copy and paste these. These are things that I want to put. They can be headlines, they can be quotes, they can be whatever you want to put them as. I'm going to actually use them as a kind of a quote. I'm going to come into my sheets and I'm going to make a Google sheet. I'll just do a blank Google sheet. And I'm going to paste all of those right there. Oh, I don't like that they did that with the spaces. Well, I don't love that it did it with the spaces, but I don't think it's going to really change anything. To be honest, I'm going to go in here and just say, insert a row. And I'm going to say headline. Now next, I'm going to say call to action. And I'm going to go back into ChatGPT and I'm going to say, write a call to action for each of the above. Hopefully it does it unnumbered. If not, I'll tell it to do it unnumbered. Yep, there it goes. So there's my calls to action coming back through. So to connect to Canva, we always want to do it with an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file or a Google sheet. I could have also done the copy button here, but I didn't. And I really didn't, I intended not to. I didn't really want this piece down here, even though I copied it. So I'm going to go back and copy it again. I don't like the explanation sometimes. It just gives it to you and it's just a pain. So, so I'm going to put my call to action there. Okay, so now I've got my spreadsheet here and I'm going to say Canva demo. I'm going to go into Canva. I'll open me up a new window and I'll drag it over here next to our demo so you guys have them right side by side. Now you do have to have the paid professional version of Canva, which is like $9 a month to do this, okay? And I want to create a design. So I'm just going to say, you can use a template if you want. So if I said like real estate, social media, post, we'll see what it gives me. You can use a template. It's up to you. I've got all these kinds of things that I can post. I just want something super simple like this for what I'm going to show you because what I'm going to show you is pretty simple. So I'm going to go right here and I'll say customize this template. Okay. So this has got a couple of things on here and I'm going to just connect them to what I have below. So what I want to make sure is that when I look at these, it's all going to fit on my template. Okay. And so we'll do some finagling with it just to begin. But if I say I want a headline, so that needs to go up here. I don't know how big those headlines were, but I think they were fairly big. I'm going to see if I can just make this a little bit bigger. There's my headline. So it all fits because what I didn't do, and you can do, remember I said you have to be real specific in that you want to limit the number of characters. So I could have said, write a call to action that's 5 words or less. Okay, I didn't do that. But if I picked my template first, I would have known to do that. I just didn't. you do it your way. This is the way I do it. I go back and finagle it. But if you want to make sure it fits a certain style, then note that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I would have said make my headlines 12 words or less, so it would fit in the exact same spot. Instead, I'm just going to create room for it. And I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to also take this and I'm going to make it as big as I want it to be, maybe a little less than more than the page. And I'm going to give it some space here to keep putting all of my content in. Move that down. And I think this goes a little bit further. So that's going to be good. They may run into each other. We'll see. You can change your logo. You can make the background look different. I'm going to stick with what they've got just for the purposes of the demo. So now what we have to do is we have to connect. I have a table and I have Canva. Now keep in mind, my table and my headlines, I could have had 365 right here, right? I don't. I also have blank lines in between that I could remove. I'm not going to remove them right now. What it's going to do, it's going to give me some blank sheets, I think, which is fine. I can handle blank sheets. I just don't print them or use them. But you could get rid of them if they bother you. Some people they would bother. But what I need to do is connect each section to that sheet. So there's a special piece to Canva. It's called Bulk Create. When I scroll down this left-hand side on the page, you'll see right here, it says Bulk Create.
What does that say? Bulk?
Bulk, B-U-L-K. If you don't have Bulk Create on the left-hand side of your page and you're a professional Canva user, it's very easy to get. You're going to go to your apps right here, okay, APPS apps, and you'll just type right up here, Bulk Create. And it's going to pull it up for you. It's right there. Once you bulk create it a couple of times, it'll just put it there for you. Okay, but it's the same either way. You just find bulk create on your apps. Now, it pulls that. Once I click it, it says add your data. It's looking. You can upload your CSV if you want to. I'm going to do mine manually. I just like the control of it. There's no reason why. I'm not great at CSV sheets, but I'm great at cutting and pasting. So I'm going to cut and paste my sheet, and I'm not even going to worry about what it looks like. I'm just going to cut and paste these two boxes right here. Remember, that's all just overflow. So I'm just going to say Control C. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to get right here, and I'm going to say Control V. Now, I could change the titles here. I don't really care if I do. I just need to remember that name means headline. So I'll do it so it's not confusing, but headline. And then this is my call to action. That's it. I copied and pasted right there. And I'm going to hit done. And don't forget, we're recording this and I'm giving you a cheat sheet that walks you through every one of these steps. Okay. So now I have headline and call to action. When I hover here or I click on it, 3 dots appear right here on any section. If I click here, I have the same thing. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click 3 dots. And this is my headline. So I'm going to click the 3 dots and say connect data. And it's going to give me my 2 lines over there. And I'm going to say headline. Okay. Now over here, because it's a group right here, it's not giving me the 3 dots. I'm just going to ungroup them. And now it gives me the 3 dots. Now I can actually get rid of that if I want to. Oops, I lost it. I will undo that because it's just easier. So now I will go here and I will say connect my data, call to action, and I'm good to go. Now the next thing I do is hit continue. And it's showing me all the things it's going to create. And I'm going to say generate 10 designs. Remember, it could be 365. Now there's my 10 designs. Now, remember when I said you want to limit the number of characters you might have or whatever you have, if I had limited them, it would be perfect. Because I didn't limit, I have a ton of editing to do. So that's a lesson learned, is to limit it. I can also come back up here. I can switch it out, but you can do it a whole different way. So I'm going to do it a little cleaner because I don't love it. I just don't love it. So I want you guys to see that it's okay to do it, and to do it in a way that if it's not perfect, you just go back and fix it. So rewrite the above in 12 words or less. And only rewrote one of them. Rewrite all of the above headlines in 12 words or less. Now you see it gave it to me in a numbered form. So I'm going to say rewrite in an unnumbered format. Why do I want it unnumbered? Anybody know?
So you can easily copy and paste.
Yeah, because what happens if I have it numbered, the numbers show up. So these are my headlines. I'm going to come back over here to the Canva and I'm just going to repaste it. I don't like it. I'm going to say Control V, super easy. Then I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to say rewrite the call to action in, I don't remember how many words that was going to be, but let's just say 15 words or less. And let's see if it gives me all of them. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's thinking. See, I have to say rewrite all of the calls to action in 15 words or less. Now it's going to number it. Rewrite in unnumbered format. When you do this every day, all day long, you actually think of these things ahead of time, but I don't do this all day long anymore. So I do forget. I'm like, oh yes, that's right. So you will get there as you do it, I promise. But either way, even if, let me say, even if you made all of these changes and you did it times 365, how easy is it to do your entire social media content? Okay, so now I've got it there. Now I'm just going to redo it for you because I didn't like the way it was done. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to go back to enter data manually. I'm going to copy these two things again. And I'm going to put it back in there. Done. And I'm going to come back in and I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Headline, I'm going to reconnect it. It doesn't actually need to be reconnected because it's still connected. So let's just see if it continues on and reconnects it with the new information. Yeah, so that's much better. And now you've got your 10 social media posts, or 365 if you want one for every day of the year. So if you come up in these 3 dots that we connected here, these exist in all Canva templates. So if you pull up a newsletter, every section of the newsletter has the 3 dots. So you just have to pick the template that you want and decide what sections you want ChatGPT to create for you. Ask it to create it, and whether it be 5 words or 10 paragraphs, just copy and paste it into an Excel cell. There's an unlimited number of space you can put in there. Copy that content in there and then connect the data. Questions?
I'm wondering why not use the ChatGPT or whatever it is, AI, that it's embedded right into Canva already?
It's not as good. You can, and I do use it. I do use this, but this won't create, like, it doesn't personalize your stuff for you. It does. It's not nearly as good. It's
Okay.
more, it's more like just like creative stuff. Like, I don't know, give me a one-off sheet and it'll give you a creative idea. And then you just sit in there and manipulate it. But it's not great at saying, give me 365 content pages of this, right? With full on content. So for something that was just simple, like if you only wanted one of these, it could come up with some of the basics of this. But if you want like newsletters, you want letters to clients, drip campaigns, and you want variety and versions, it's not there yet. Yeah, it's not the same technology. But that's a great question. And I think it will get there. Like, obviously, all of these apps have to be wanting to do this because that's an unbelievable tool to offer to different sales industries. But it's just not there yet. Any other questions on any of this? Okay, I want to go into, we're running a couple of minutes late. So I just want to tell you a couple of things really quick that I think are important for you. We've gone through some of this. So a couple of things, they mentioned that the data is only up to 2021. So when that's in there, these are the things I want you to be aware of. Biases and stereotypes are in there. Inappropriate language and content are in there. Personal and private information can be put in there. That's because it's literally all of the information that was in the internet in 2021. So if somebody wrote some racist comment and you asked for a quote, some racist comment could be used as your quote. So I want you to know that. So I want you to know to proofread your content and make sure that it's appropriate. Can there be fair housing violations in there if you use it for bulk content? Absolutely. Like, you can't use this as a replacement for our intelligence, right? It's an addition to for efficiency. But know that there are all kinds of bad things out there. And so if you find something that's bad, you have to tell it, because otherwise it can do really bad things. In addition, the information that you put in there is not private. So it is your account, but somebody owns that account. So somebody owns ChatGPT, right? And so if you put your social security number in there, if you put your phone number in there, if you put any type of personal information in there, that is data that is value to be sold by ChatGPT. And so, I'm fine with my phone number being sold. I don't care. I'm on the do not call list. You're going to get blocked on my phone pretty quickly. And I'm a little bit tired of insurance sales texting me all the time, but it is the life of a real estate agent. And so just be aware of it and be conscious of it and make sure that you choose to give that information away and that you're choosing to give away the information that is yours to give away. And so, and then just proofread everything that you have. That's super, super important because there's so much bad stuff on the internet. I personally have not had any bad experiences with it. So I just want to say that, like, I use it all day, every day, in my classes with my agents, in writing content for Keller Williams. We use it all the time. This is the same. I taught this class to Gary Keller, and it's the same exact warning I gave to him. Like, this is it's a real security threat. So whatever you put in there, just be conscious of it and cognizant of it, and use that in a smart way. And if there's something that's wrong, then tell it that it's wrong. Okay. And that's helpful to everybody. So last but not least, I'm going to follow up with you guys. I'll give you a copy of these slides. I will give you, and I'm going to go back to that sheet, which I promised I would give that QR code to anybody who was late so you could get a copy of these slides. I'm going to give you a copy of the slides, and I'm going to give you a cheat sheet for how to connect it to Google. If you have any questions, go all the way back to the beginning, then I'm going to give you my information in just a second. And this is the slide if anybody needs to capture it so that you get your slides and you get the cheat sheet for Canva. Please scan it with your phone. If you need anything from me, I'm always here to help. I love helping agents. It's literally my one thing, whether you are in my office or not. I am good friends with Brooks Warner, and I will do just about anything to make your market center succeed. Truly, there's nothing that you could ask me that if I can do it, I will be happy to do it. So feel free to reach out. Let me give you my information. I'll come back to that. This is my cell phone number and my email. Try to start using it and huge leverage in your life to get you where you need to go and to get some of this stuff off of your plate, which I know right now is a huge need. So very last thing, we do surveys always. KW wants to do surveys. If you want to see more on AI, if you want to see more on any of these tech classes, I think right now I'm the only person teaching them in KW faculty. So I'd love to have an evaluation
She needs evaluation
so that we can get support.
one.
Sorry. You can go to KW eval, or you can scan this code. You'll have to, my name is in there, but you'll have to type in ChatGPT. And then it's like 3 questions it asks you. I always tell people, just because it's come back to bite me sometimes, 1 is a terrible score. If you hated the class, give me a 1, that's fine, but tell me why you hated it. I hope you didn't, but if you did, and if you love the class, give me a 5. But don't give me a 1 thinking you're giving me a great score, or I'm thinking you're giving me a terrible score, because that has come up a couple of times. So just know that 1 is the first one and 5 is the best one. And if there's anything that I can do for you guys, I'm going to hang around. I'll answer any more questions or help you create anything. But if you guys need to go, I like to respect your time too.
Shannon, I'm looking on the drop down for what class I attended.
Yeah. You have to go to the very bottom, all the way to the bottom, and it's like course not listed, because this is a brand new class. And you'll have to go all the way to the bottom, and you just have to type in ChatGPT. Yeah, it's not a KW class yet.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So another question is, so if I put in my telephone number, my email address for a callback or whatever, so all that information is now public information on chat. And so if I put in statistics or something for the Lansing area on something, so that now, even though the stuff that's in the free one is from 2021, anybody that has a 2023 account would have my statistics. I mean, they would have to verify. I've been trying to figure out how much information is actually, everything I write, someone else could use. That's the whole point of it, right?
Yeah, sure. It's making it smarter. So like, but I mean, in all honesty, they'd have to ask it the exact same way you did. And all of that information, there's a whole team of people verifying things that are being put in there. So in theory, could it just come up and somebody use the same stats? Yes.
But that's okay. That's okay. I was just kind of wondering how it all worked.
Yeah. There's they have a whole group that sits, I mean, thousands of people that sit and watch everything that comes through and validates it. And yet, when you think that there's a billion users, there's no way they're validating everything that comes in. So, I mean, I think that's why I always like to say use it with caution. But yes, technically, anything you put in there is public information. Mm-hmm. So how they pull it out is possible. Any other questions? Does anybody have anything else that they would like to try to create and they don't know where to begin?
No, from the dark room, but we appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love teaching this stuff. I know how hard it is to run my own business. So if I can help make it easier on you, happy to do it. And you guys can have anything that I have. I mean, literally my database in my Google Drive or your Google Drive. So just let me know if you guys ever need anything.
Thank you so much, Shannon. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks. You guys have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was awesome.